Hi, everybody. Welcome to Everyday Hockey. I'm Greg.
And I'm Dale, and happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there.
Oh, yeah, it is Mother's Day today. And of course, you and I both have mothers that we have to somehow navigate today. Have you got anything for her, Dale? Or you're relying on your siblings and then you say to them, well, I'll just pay you?
Yeah, it's usually that's how it is with my sister. My sister's really, really well organized, and I just kind of contribute.
I got you there for sure. Exactly the same thing. And I know it works actually really good if they're on the phone because I can't see the eye roll.
Yes, yes. Yeah, exactly.
When I'm
Exactly.
in person with them, they give me the eye roll. But anyway, happy Mother's Day, well, to my wife and to your mom and my mom and it's a great day because you know what? We are going to have a hockey moms episode sometime in the future. You know, we should have planned this, Dale. What the heck are we thinking about?
I know.
Wouldn't
I'm
it have been a perfect day to have the hockey moms episode on Mother's Day? But anyway,
it would have been, but well, we can do the Orthodox one next week.
yeah. Typical men, typical husbands, never thinking ahead.
Hey, I wanted to mention our friend Angus McMillan at ASAP Windows and Doors. He's got a special Mother's Day
Oh,
deal.
nice.
So it's
Okay.
from Mother's Day till Father's Day in 2026. In addition to the factory discount, which is the everyday hockey discount, ASAP Windows and Doors will donate 5% of all everyday hockey registered sales to your choice of Stars Air Ambulance or the Heart and Stroke Foundation.
Hey, wow.
So
Thank you.
good
Thank
on
you
you,
so
Angus.
much,
Thank
Angus.
you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can get a hold of Angus at asapwindows.ca. So
Okay.
yeah, it is window season.
It is. It's definitely window season. Now, speaking of windows, the window closed on a couple of NHL teams.
Yeah.
Ottawa got beaten 4 games. I think what do they call it again? Oh yeah, a sweep. And then I don't know. Is Carolina the underdog team, Dale? Are they the underdog that nobody sort of saw coming? All the talk was about, ooh, Tampa this year might be the one. Obviously Colorado is playing really well, but is Carolina that team where nobody really talks about them, and all of a sudden they sweep 2 series in a row?
Well, they've always underachieved. That's been their thing. They've always looked really good. They've had good regular seasons, and then
Hmm.
come playoff time, they've crapped the bed. But this year, it looks like things are different. And I heard yesterday after the game, after they swept Philadelphia, I think they're going to have 9 days off until the next series. And
That's this time of year, my gosh, that's magic. That's
that's
magic.
unbelievable. So it'll either work in that way where they'll get great rest, or they'll lose their edge, which can happen. So it's because they're going to play either Buffalo or Montreal in the next series, and
Hmm.
both teams are young and full of pea and vinegar.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, when you look at that at how difficult a season of NHL hockey is when you talk about 82 games and then the fact that you could play as many as 28 games in the playoffs, they've managed to avoid 6 games by sweeping the first 2 series. So you think about that, 4 in a row, don't have to go to game 7.
it's
Like
huge.
that's
Yeah,
huge. That's huge.
yeah, it really is. I think while they're well coached, like Rod Brindamore is a good coach, and they're a good disciplined team. And former Edmonton Oilers #1 overall draft pick Taylor Hall is playing lights out. Like I know he was MVP when he got traded to New Jersey. He's kind of regained that form again. Now you can see why the Oilers did take him #1 overall. He's matured. He's become that player.
The rumor was that when he was in Chicago and things didn't go well there, and it was interesting because I saw an interview with him yesterday after the game, and they mentioned his time in Chicago, and you could see he almost he almost said something, and then he went, "No, I'm a professional here." Yeah, things were really difficult there. And what I heard was they wanted Taylor Hall to basically be Connor Bedard's babysitter. They wanted
Right.
him to look after Connor Bedard. The way Taylor Hall is playing right now, he's going, what are you talking about? I'm the franchise player, or I could be the franchise player still.
Yes.
And yet now you want me to give all that up and just be a babysitter for Bedard?
Right.
And
Right.
shortly after that, he got injured, didn't play, got traded away, and now he's
Right.
shining in Carolina. And that's the other thing I heard about Carolina is there's lots of guys that go there, and all of a sudden they're playing well again. They're blooming,
Right.
which makes
Right.
a big difference for a team. I mean, you got guys who have pedigree. There's lots of examples of that around the league where guys should be better than they are. And then
Yes.
what are the factors that are causing the problem? I was watching Philadelphia as well yesterday. When I watch the way Tocchet speaks to his players
Yeah.
on the bench, I see him ripping guys,
Yeah. Old school.
just ripping them. And you can see that the look on those guys' face. Yeah, I still respect you, coach ish.
Right.
I guess I won't make that mistake again. I don't see that out of Brindamore. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how Brindamore coaches.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. I mean, I know in the Edmonton market, we cannot believe we got Vasily Podkolzin, who was a number 1 draft pick from Vancouver, but he just didn't fit into Tocchet's vision or system or something.
Mm-hmm.
And when we lost Holloway and Broberg to the double offer sheet, that's one of the best moves that Stan Bowman, he was just new in the job. That's one of the best moves he's ever made, was picking up Podkolzin. It's almost like he did fall out of favor with Tocchet, and I don't know. I don't know the whole story there. I don't know it, and I don't go there.
In a way, it could be, the same thing as watching Fonzie in Vegas. At a certain point, players no longer want to be spoken to that way.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I think when you're an aggressive coach like that, it's a short window. It's changed. I think John Cooper is kind of he's the modern day coach. He looks pretty calm, and just the things I've seen with Team Canada with him,
Mm-hmm.
he seems like a pretty good dude.
Martin St. Louis is the same way.
Right.
The players love him. There's a relationship there with him that makes them want to play. He's like they were saying, during the game, he looks like he could just suit up,
He does. He does.
between the second and third, and maybe help the guys out a little bit, and probably would have an impact.
That second game they played, man, they played great. Like they just came out like a house on fire. And now that's a good series.
It's a great series. It's fun, so fun to watch.
To me, it's the best series. Montreal's almost been the funnest team to watch in the playoffs, except Anaheim's been good, even though they beat the Oilers. They're young and they've been exciting too, but Montreal's got that something going on there. Heading back to the Bell Center.
Okay, so now tell me about the atmosphere in Edmonton, Dale. What's happening in
Jeez.
on the podcasts and radio shows and complaint columns across the country of Alberta?
Oh my God! Like the day after the Oilers lost out to Anaheim, that day and for a few days, the radio stations. I was listening to everything, like almost like the full day. The Kevin Carrier show on 1440. I was listening to that right up until like Bob Stauffer's show late in the evening, or like early evening, almost like a full-time job.
Wow.
And man, everybody's down on Darnell Nurse. They want him gone. They're kind of half and half. Should we fire Knobloch because he's too laid back? And should we fire Stan Bowman because he totally botched that goaltending deal? And then there's McDavid and Draisaitl, who came out and poured gasoline on the fire a little bit in their year-end remarks when they kind of said, we've all got to be better. And they never quite pointed fingers, but then they said, well, and us too. This is what I'll say about those guys. And not enough people talk about this. Edmonton was tired, and McDavid is injured. Like Four Nations, the pressure of the Four Nations, the pressure of the Olympics, and Draisaitl got hurt too, like in the end of the year.
And for gosh sakes, Dale, they went to the final 2 years in a row. And when you do that, you expend everything you've got. When you don't win, people forget that you still went through the battle.
That's right.
I mean,
That's right.
everybody says, oh, Florida. Well, we know you couldn't sustain it. You could
Right.
win 2, and that was a miracle, really, a miracle on ice that they could win 2. In the third year, they didn't even make the playoffs, and people went, "Yeah, well, we get it. You know, you're injured, you're beaten up, you just can't take it anymore." Even I even think it comes down to even personal stuff.
Oh,
When you're in a battle like that, everything that you have emotionally and socially and all that has to go into winning that Stanley Cup. And so why would anybody think that the Oilers didn't have the same situation just because they didn't win the cup?
They did. They had the same, like, because Florida had been in 3 Stanley Cup finals in a row and they won the last 2. And then Sasha Barkov got injured in the preseason, and that was it. That was it. He's their guy. He's their main guy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, now it's going to be interesting next year because they're going to be rested. But Sergei Bobrovsky, I think, is 38 or 39 years old. And I'm not sure about their backup. I don't know is he going to be able to fill Bobrovsky's shoes in pressure situations, you know?
Yeah.
And the thing is with Edmonton, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to make it back. And I did write an article about McDavid because the pressure's on now. They got to win next year. They have to win, or else McDavid next summer at this time, if they don't win, it's like, well, what are you going to do? Are you going to play out your contract, or does Edmonton actually maybe get somebody for you? Because you've only signed for 2 years. And it was interesting in the comments section on the Hockey Writers, because some guy totally torched me and called me every name under the sun, like a disillusioned writer or whatever. And it's like, well, maybe you're just a big fan and you have to separate yourself. I mean, I'm a fan of the Oilers, but I'm realistic. I lived through the Gretzky trade. Like,
yeah. Everybody said it could never happen.
Yeah, it happened. And 2 years later, they reloaded and they won the Stanley Cup. So I don't know. I mean, I'm a McDavid fan. He could win his 4th Hart Trophy this year. I'm not sure if he's going to, but I think he's got a good chance. But he'll join Gretzky and Gordie Howe. Like, he'll be 3rd overall, because Gretzky's got 9 Hart Trophies and Gordie Howe has 6. So
impressive numbers.
Impressive. And like Bobby Orr's got 3. Bobby Clark's got 3. Mario Lemieux's got 3. Alex Ovechkin's got 3. I think Eddie Shore has 3.
Okay.
But yeah, McDavid's kind of stuck in that group, and who knows? But I know he often says, and he talks about it, it's like, no, I just want to win the cup.
You know, a player who dominates the league as much as McDavid does, he should win the cup. Like, you know, you shouldn't go through your career and not have your name on the Stanley Cup. Maybe it would be a real shame.
Exactly.
But yeah. In today's NHL, there are no guarantees.
I mean, the thought of him becoming like Ray Bourque, where you get transported onto another team and you win the cup. Like Bourque, that was a great way to cap off his career, to win with Colorado. And even like the gesture of Joe Sakic handing him the first guy to hand the cup was to Bourque. That was great. But I know Bourque probably deep down would say, yeah, I wish I would have won it with the Bruins.
Of course.
That's my team.
That was his team.
Yeah.
And I'm sure McDavid would have similar sentiments when it comes to that.
Oh, big, for sure. But I know it's going to come to a point where, and it could come as early as next year, where it's like, well, where's my best chance to win? Where's my best chance to win? And you know what? In situations like that, Edmonton will never win that trade. They'll never win that trade back. Like the Gretzky trade, they never won that trade. Like the best player went left.
Yeah.
And they never got, like, they got Jimmy Carson, Martin Jelena. I think, maybe did they get Bernie Nichols? Maybe Bernie.
Bernie Nichols.
Guys, yeah. They got those guys in return. They were good players, but they weren't.
They weren't.
No.
They weren't Wayne Gretzky. That's true.
So what's going on with the PWHL right now?
Okay, so PWHL, let's see. In the Walter Cup playoffs right now, at this very moment on Mother's Day, Ottawa and Boston will play this afternoon. Ottawa's actually up 2-1. So good on Canada. We're still holding on to it. The other series, and again, Dale, they actually start in the semifinals basically. So
Which is really cool, actually.
yeah, with 8 teams, they were able to just go straight into the semifinals, and the two remaining teams will finish off. So we got Montreal, the Montreal Victoire, playing Minnesota Frost. Now the interesting thing about that is, in the way that they manage their playoffs, the first place team in the regular season gets a chance to choose their opponent. So they don't have to play the bottom team that has made the playoffs.
Right.
They can choose. And the league has never had another champion other than the Minnesota Frost. So, I mean, this is the third year.
Right.
So Minnesota won the first 2 years. They were underdogs the first year, but won again last year. Montreal chose to play them. They were in an elimination game. They were up 2-1. It's a best of 5. They were up 2-1, and now it's tied up 2-2. And so they'll play tomorrow in the fifth and deciding game of that series. And so it's pretty exciting, actually. It makes for a really great brand of hockey. And
wow.
nobody's sweeping, and so it'll be interesting to see what happens. Now, on another note in the league, they announced last week their first expansion team this year. So their plan is, or we're not sure exactly, it's somewhere between 2 and 4 teams. The first expansion team that they announced was Detroit.
Do they have a team name yet, or just?
Well, one of the traditions that they have started with the PWHL, and I think they accidentally started it this way because when they first announced the league, they came up with a bunch of names for the teams, and people said those names suck, and so they backed off of them and said, okay, we're just going to be called Montreal. We're just going to be called Toronto.
Right.
And then the next year, they announced the names of the teams, so Detroit will likely just be called Detroit for the first year.
Okay.
And then the year after, then they add their logo. So interesting. And so I mean,
that's like the Utah Mammoth.
Mm-hmm.
Utah, when they came to Utah, they were just known as the hockey club.
Yeah, the Utah Hockey Club.
Yeah. That's so European soccer.
Well, and you know what? In a way, talk about marketing, right? So the fans go crazy. Oh, we got a team in Detroit, and they buy jerseys that say Detroit on it. And then the next year, they change their name to the Detroit Lead in the Water or something like that.
Yeah.
And then you got to buy another jersey.
Yeah. That reminds me of a story. I went to a game in the Saddle Dome a couple years ago. Calgary was playing Carolina. Like, one of the most obscure players on Calgary, somebody was wearing their jersey, and I'm like looking at this and I'm going, you spent over $100 for that jersey? It was Kuzmenko.
Oh, Kuzmenko, yeah.
And I'm like, you bought a Calgary Flames Kuzmenko jersey? Really? Really?
It's probably Kuzmenko's mom or something like that.
Could be. Like, no offense to Kuzmenko and his mom and his family or anything, but it's like, if I'm laying down $200 or $300 on a jersey, I'm gonna make sure it's Ovechkin or Crosby or McDavid or Vasilevsky. Yeah, sorry. Like, no offense to Kuzmenko, because
No.
but I just, like, I'm looking at this and I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, taking a chance, I guess. Maybe Kuzmenko turns into a superstar, and then you got the first one. So
yeah, plus
or the only one.
That game was that was 2 years ago, and the Calgary Flames had got off to an incredible start to the season. I think they went 9-0 that year. They were undefeated.
Right. Yeah.
And then I showed up to that home game and they lost their first home game. So as an Oiler fan,
You felt pretty good about that.
I'm just going to leave that parked right there. So any
Very
of you
nice.
Calgary Flames fan, I guess just email me and bring the hate.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, and we appreciate it when people actually make comments and negative, positive. Hey, you know what? No publicity is bad publicity. Let's subscribe and send us your comments. If you would like to email us in private, of course, we do actually have an email address. It's everydayhockeypodcast@gmail.com.
No, that's awesome. Good reminder.
We have a
Yeah.
website as well.
Yeah, everydayhockey.ca. So
And I know that you
yeah.
post some links there to some of the articles that you write, as well as some other oddities that we find while we're spending hours and hours scrolling through hockey stuff, looking for something interesting.
For sure. No, go ahead. It's an interesting time of year. It's like I'm finding as a hockey writer with the Oilers out of the playoffs. Past few years I've been lucky because they've always been like at least to the Western Conference Finals.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, what do you like? You got to dig the angles. You got to find some angles here that aren't being reported.
And I was just going to say, there's probably 15, 20 other guys trying to do the same thing, angles that nobody else has thought of.
Yeah, there are. Like with the hockey writers, there's 7 other writers. Yeah, there's some pretty sharp guys there who get some really good angles. It's like, okay.
Yeah. Find out what McDavid got for his mom for Mom's Day or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Or I've got to find out Leon Draisaitl's personal chef and what he eats to maintain his stamina throughout the season.
Okay.
A lot of kale.
A lot of kale. I'm going to give a little hockey tip here for parents. And this is something that I did when I was young and full of energy. I'm not that way anymore. I'm old and kind of slow. But anyway.
No, this is great.
I used to take my kids out to the rink all the time. And I would do the outdoor rink back in the day when we had an outdoor rink really close to our house. I used to take the kids out there and give them opportunities to skate and all that. And it was painful, Dale. To be honest with you, it was difficult because we had a little shack out there, but sometimes the shack wasn't open. So if you didn't have the key to the shack, then you're out there putting skates on in the cold. Sometimes I would put the skates on sitting in the living room on the couch and then carry them over there. I remember actually with Erica, when we would take her out there, she had never glided on skates before, never glided because she was just 4 years old, I think, and she would just walk on her skates. And then one day when it was really windy in Regina, which is basically every day in Regina, I took her out to the outdoor rink and I put her on one side of the rink with the wind at her back. And I said, okay, don't move your feet. And the wind blew her across the ice. That was the first time she ever glided on skates, Dale.
Oh my God, that's great.
So she was thrilled with it. Yeah, she had that feeling of gliding. The one thing that I would say about when you're training kids, don't make it so easy for them. Don't make it so easy for them. I mean, Andrew was probably 7, 8 years old. He's getting pretty good with the stick and the puck.
Yeah.
And sometimes what would happen is he would go out and he'd say, Dad, we got the net here. Give me one-timers. So, just put it right in try to give him a nice pass so he could take a shot. But then what I started doing, Dale, was I would actually try not to put it in the right spot. I'd make him skate around me in circles, and I would constantly pass pucks to his feet.
Great.
To his feet.
Great.
To his
Great
feet.
idea.
To his feet.
Yeah.
And I think the conventional wisdom would be always, give it to him right on his stick so that he gets that pass and receives the pass and all that. But I would purposely do the opposite of that so that he would get the feeling of, well, what do I do when? And I think he became a better pass receiver because of that.
That's the difference. When I see really advanced players like from tier 1 junior A and up and university and pro, it's like their ability to handle a pass no matter where it is. I'm blown away by some guys who just like mid-flight, the pass is high off their shin pads, and they're still controlling it going into the zone, into
Yeah,
the other zone. Like,
it is remarkable. It is
yeah,
remarkable.
I think that separates players.
Oh,
Like,
for sure, for sure.
yeah.
And so anyway, yeah, get them a little off balance, and then give them the puck. And I know that was a big thing with some of the Eastern European teams, that they would always do that. They would always make it uncomfortable during practice, because by making it uncomfortable during practice, they got used to that feeling of a game. Because I mean, how often do you see a beautiful pass, but then it gets tipped by somebody, and so it ends up, like you say, up on the shin pads instead of right on the stick. And what happens? These guys that are so good at that are able to direct it down to their stick, and boom, it's in the net.
Oh, this is an interesting topic, because I had a situation a long time ago where I was on an outdoor rink, and there was a young little guy. He was maybe 5 years old playing goal. And so we had there was probably about 5 or 6 people out there. We were kind of playing shinny and stuff. And his dad took great delight in lighting up his son, scoring on him all the time. And so when I would get the puck, I'd come in on the son, and the son would make the save. And I was ready to elbow the dad, because it's like, you know what? Give that kid some confidence. He's 5 years old. Let him stop the puck. You know what? You go out to your beer league game and score, and then just do your celebration. But don't take it out on that poor kid.
Build the confidence. Yeah.
Build the confidence there. There's situations like that. Like when I saw that, and the dad was relentless. It's funny because I'm bringing it up 30 years later, but it just stuck out, and it's like, give me a break. I just remember coming in on the kid, taking shots, and making the kid stop it, and going, good save, building that up.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And especially as a goalie yourself, you understand that the impact of confidence.
Oh, big time. I remember as a kid when I would play, I played with some of the older kids sometimes, and then when you'd make a big save on them, you felt really good. Those are the days where we played street hockey, and these guys were they had hard pucks, and they were rifling at you, and you had no padding. And oh my God, but man, it felt good to make a save off the shin.
Right. You hear those stories of those old NHL goalies say, get knocked out in the second period, but come back in the third. Literally knocked out.
Oh, serious, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Jacques Plante, the invention of the goalie mask. I mean, totally. It used to be a badge of honor. And when I see that, it's like when a child is that small, it's like, you know what? Just have fun, build their confidence, and if you want to go and score a bunch of goals, then do join a league, and enjoy the exhilaration of scoring at 11:45 at night on a guy that's got to go to work the next morning at 6 a.m.
There is some exhilaration in that, I think. All right. On that note, let's wrap it up, Dale. This has been Everyday Hockey. Dale and I are more than pleased to take your comments and your suggestions, and maybe you want to be a guest on the show. For gosh sakes, send us an email, everydayhockeypodcast@gmail.com. We've got a beautiful sponsor with a Mother's Day deal for you. My gosh, Angus, thank you so much for being our first sponsor.
Absolutely. ASAPwindowsanddoors.ca. If you need some new windows and doors, give Angus a call. And hey, thanks everybody. Thanks for listening, and families, thanks for your encouragement.
we're like the 7-year-old goalie here. All it's going to take is, if you score on us 3 more times, we're probably going to quit forever.
Yeah. We're just waiting for someone to come on YouTube and go, oh, I'm really enjoying listening to you guys. I am that 5-year-old goalie. I want to make that save.